I've been watching this NewJeans and Ador situation unfold like a slow-motion car crash, and just when you think the dust is settling, we get another twist that makes you question everything. The latest development, this staggered return of the NewJeans members. And the way these two groups of members handled their return tells you everything you need to know about the internal dynamics. Haran and Hyein took the professional route. They met with Ador CEO Lee Do-kyung on November 11th, had what appears to be substantive discussions with their families involved, and allowed Ador to make a coordinated announcement about their return. And this approach showed respect for the corporate structure and acknowledged the legal reality they're operating within. It's the kind of behavior you'd expect from artists who understand they're part of a business relationship, even if it's not their ideal situation. Meanwhile, Minji, Danielle, and Hani took what can only be described as the rebel route. Their statement came roughly 3 hours after Ador's official announcement about Haran and Hyein, a timing that feels reactive rather than proactive. They used personal channels rather than going through proper corporate communication. And their explanation about a member being in Antarctica and communication delays feels, frankly, like a cover story for poor planning. Most tellingly, they admitted Ador hadn't responded to them yet, suggesting they jumped the gun instead of waiting for proper protocol. This isn't just a difference in style, it's a difference in fundamental philosophy about how to engage with the company that legally controls their careers. What I find particularly revealing is how Ador treated these two approaches. For Haran and Hyein, they issued a supportive statement about ensuring their entertainment activities proceed smoothly. For the other three, they used corporate language about verifying their sincerity and showing obvious temperature difference. And the agency knows that forced compliance isn't the same as genuine cooperation, and they're right to be cautious about members who might be returning reluctantly rather than willingly. And the legal reality of NewJeans losing in court, and the court specifically, stating that Min Hee-jin's presence wasn't essential to their contract. Directly undermining the "she's our mother" narrative created what economists would call a BATNA, which means best alternative to a negotiated agreement. For NewJeans, their BATNA was grim: appeal the case with little chance of success, remain in career limbo for years during appeals, and face potential bankruptcy from damaged claims. Or they could return to Ador and resume earning. The math became brutally simple. Fighting meant professional suicide, while returning meant at least preserving their careers. Haran and Hyein apparently did this calculation quickly and decided to cut their losses. The other three members seem to have taken longer to accept this cold reality, and the legal structure also worked against them in another crucial way. Ador holds individual contracts with each member and controls the NewJeans trademark and song rights. This meant that even if only 2 members returned, Ador could technically continue NewJeans without the others, similar to what happened with TVXQ, continuing with 2 members, or 50-50 rebooting with new members. This leverage gave Ador significant power in these negotiations. The members weren't just fighting a legal battle, they were fighting a structural one where the company held most of the cards regardless of the outcome. Perhaps the most critical question hanging over this whole situation is whether these 3 members have truly cut ties with Min. The reports are very clear. Haran and Hyein and their families agreed to work with an Ador that does not include Min. The other 3 members, however, reportedly left their meeting with Ador only presenting conditions for their return, which poses another red flag to me, and it only just shows that they haven't changed, not even once. And frankly, they shouldn't even return. And even attorneys have explained that Ador actually has solid legal grounds to terminate the contracts with the 3 members if they choose to do so. And if that happens, the financial consequences could be devastating for the members. We're not talking about small change here with NewJeans' level of success. The damage claims could reach amounts that would be difficult for the girls to manage, even with their earnings. And the thing is, Ador has much less to lose by cutting ties with the problematic members. They could theoretically continue with Heron and Hyen, add new members, or even just collect damages from the departing members and move on. This isn't to say that that's what will happen, but it's an option that's now on the table, which gives Ador significant negotiating power that they didn't have before. The industry insiders quoted specifically mention Minji and Hani's actions during the emergency press conference and parliamentary audit as having very negative impacts on trust. These weren't just legal maneuvers, they were public demonstrations of opposition that likely created personal rifts with Ador's management team. When you publicly question your company's integrity and leadership, you can't just snap your fingers and expect those relationships to repair overnight. This trust deficit is probably the biggest obstacle to the three members' return. Ador's management needs to believe that these members will be cooperative, professional, and fully committed to the group's future activities. After the very public and very messy battle they've been through, that's a big ask. The members' recent actions, the rushed public statement, the communication issues probably haven't helped rebuild that trust. This is why Ador is proceeding so cautiously, and why there's genuine speculation in the industry that they might decide some members aren't worth the trouble. The public backlash is another huge problem. Netizens aren't stupid. They see the hypocrisy. They've compiled lists of the members' past accusations and are now mocking their fake surrender. Comments like, Ador's staff should wear body cameras are hilarious, but they highlight a real sentiment. The public perceives the members as untrustworthy and manipulative. And then there's the Min Hee-jin of it all. Her statement saying she supports the members and that NewJeans must remain as 5 feels less like a blessing and more like a ghost at the feast. She is the elephant in the room. The members, particularly the holdout 3, have to prove to Ador that they have truly cut ties with her influence. Can they do that? My speculation is, and that's on a basis of is, that Ador might take them all back, but not on equal terms. The additional meetings they're planning for Minji, Hani, and Danielle won't be a warm welcome. There'll be a debriefing and a list of strict new rules. Ador will use this leverage to demand absolute control, perhaps even inserting clauses into their renewed agreements that penalize any future disloyalty or unauthorized communication. The power dynamic has permanently shifted. The members are no longer partners. They are employees who have been given a second chance they know they can't afford to waste. The era of NewJeans having any significant say in their management is over. They will do as they're told, or they will be replaced. That's the harsh new reality they created for themselves. So, what do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.